Konko Talk. Aloha everyone. Thank you very much for listening to this program. Konko Talk is a program where people in the Konko faith talk about various topics. The thought and opinions we share on this program may differ from yours, but we hope that you will enjoy and learn something new. We will learn something new that may affect our thought, behaviors, and action for the better. Our different backgrounds, religions, thought, and culture provide the diversity that strengthens our community. Just like biodiversity is essential for a healthy planet Earth. I am Koichi Konko from the Konko Mission of Honolulu. Joining me are Amy and Edna. Today we will talk about the Kami or God. Let's get started.
Konko Daijin said that Kami is to help people. I believe so too. We actually know Kami-sama help us so we can pray. Like an ideal parent, yeah? The Kami-sama is an ideal parent. We never die, very powerful and invisible, so everywhere.
I think Kami-sama's role is just to continue to bless us, every single day. Yeah, Kami-sama to me is the ultimate giver.
I see.
Kami-sama provides us air to breathe, water to drink, food to eat, a beating heart, just life. Kami-sama provides everything we need to live day to day. That's Kami-sama's role. But as humans, our role is to, I think, at least recognize that. Because we just live day to day without even acknowledging the sun rising or, waking up. Just waking up is a huge blessing. Because it's not guaranteed. We cannot guarantee 100% that we will be alive the next morning. So waking up, being able to breathe, take one breath. Even taking one breath requires so much function in the body. The brain function, the brain stem, there's so much function. The accessory muscles in our necks and
Right. It's so easy to forget that.
Yeah.
So many times we take for granted things that come naturally. And that goes for anything, but especially stuff that we get just 'cause we're alive.
Yeah.
You're on this earth and you get to automatically breathe on your own. It's not until we can't. It's not until we're in a situation where we can't breathe that we miss breathing. Or when, and you see it all the time in the hospital, if someone can't go to the bathroom on their own, you don't miss it. You kind of take for granted that you're healthy enough that you can do it without assistance. It's not until you cannot that you don't, that you realize how blessed you are.
Yeah, I remember several years ago, I hurt my back when I was at work. A patient placed the dinner tray on the floor outside of the room. And I wish they would have just left it on their table in the room, but I had to bend down. And those dinner trays are really heavy. They have a warmer on top of it, so it's like extra heavy. It almost weighs close to like 4 to 5 pounds for a dinner, more than that, maybe 5 or 6 pounds for a dinner tray. And I guess the way I was carrying it or holding it was really bad, like ergonomically not right. So I really tweaked my back.
Oh.
And that shock was so bad. They call it gikurigoshi in Japanese.
Yeah.
And I let out a shriek. I'm like, ah! And even my coworkers were like, what happened, Edna? What's up? And I was like, I tweaked my back. And like, I was frozen. I was like, it hurt so badly. And my coworker was like, let's take you to the ER. I'll get the wheelchair. I was like, no. Please don't. I don't want to go to the ER. And I was like, but you're in the hospital. I was like, I don't care. I'm not going to the ER. I said, and I was like, oh, it was so painful that whole entire night. And I was just barely able to drive home that night to Wahiwa. And when I arrived home, my mom happened to be awake. It was past midnight. And she was just watching TV and she was pretty much waiting for me to come home every night from work. And I was like, oh, Casa, my back is just killing me. I hurt my back today. And so we had a small, ottoman inside of the living room. So I bent my back the other direction, facing up. So I was facing up. So I bend my back the other way and see if that helps my back any better. Oh my goodness. That made it so worse. It was like 10 times worse. And then I was frozen already. I can't get up. I can't get up for the past 20 minutes. I had to stay in that position because I couldn't move.
Oh
I was
gosh.
pretty much like, in my head, all these things are running through my head. Like, okay, this is the last day I'm going to be able to work. Like, this is the last day I'm going to be able to earn any more salary. And it really terrified me. It really did. And I was like, wow, this is how it means to be disabled. And I also thought that if I ever get arrogant, conceited, then, it's like, Kami-sama can disable me at any time. So I really felt that, like every day I'm allowed to go to work is a tremendous blessing. And that day really made me realize that, Anthony, every day is a blessing, blessed day. That really scared me.
Yeah, those are the kind of times where when you're going through it, it's hard to remember that, because you throw out your back, can't move. The last thing on my mind is, Kami-sama is trying to teach me a lesson. Seriously? Like, yeah, but it's not until afterwards. Or maybe it takes like a sensei to point it out to you when you go do otoroke or whatever. But yeah, when you're going through it, it's really hard to remember. But the trick is to try and remember it as fast as possible, because then it kind of turns your attitude around toward it. I've been there, done that. Yeah, especially gikurigoshi. Like you don't realize how important those vertebrae. Yeah, you don't realize how important those vertebrae in your back are until they're frozen and you can't move. Yeah.
And I really began to appreciate every body part in my body from head to toe. Yeah. So when I remember, because I don't remember to do this every day, but when I remember, I look in the mirror and I put my hands on my head and I tap all throughout my whole body. And I say, thank you for being here today, for keeping me alive. It's going to be a good day. And I kind of do my affirmations, and that helped me go throughout the day.
That's a good reminder. That's something simple that everyone can do.
It is really. And I look in the mirror and I smile and I say, "Good morning, Anna." And sometimes when the day is not so good, you like get chewed out by somebody, or and you come home really like depressed and angry or upset. Then I go to my household altar. And I also place my hands on my heart, and I say, and I talk to my own spirit too. And I say, you know what? Today wasn't a really good day, was it? And then I say, I'm sorry. I know you were hurt today. I'm sorry. And let's hope tomorrow's gonna be a good day, okay, Edna? All right, we got this. And then, I feel much better. Much better. So Kami-sama, my mom says Kami-sama is also in your own heart. Everybody has a Kami-sama in their heart. So
Right.
I talk to the Kami-sama in my heart. It's called a Wakeni-sama, a piece of Kami-sama's heart.
Right. I like the Konko-sama report. I don't know exactly what he said, but he said we live in Kami-sama, we live in the universe, and Kami-sama reside within us. So that's very meaningful to me, easy to understand where Kami-sama is.
Yeah. Kami-sama is a macrocosm, and we are a microcosm. But even in this microcosm, Kami-sama is in that too. Kami-sama is even in individual atoms, up to his microorganism, the micro level, the atomic level. Kami-sama is there to function.
Yeah, I think oftentimes people view Kami-sama or God as something outside of themselves, a present company included, like myself included. You tend to think of Kami-sama as this outside force. But the beautiful thing about Konkokyo is that they teach you that Kami-sama is also within yourself. That's really important. That's something that's so easy to forget. Like we're supposed to be, and I guess it helps people to understand that we need to respect ourselves because Kami-sama is also within us.
Yeah.
That's very powerful.
Yeah. And similarly, since Kami-sama exists in every single other person too, that we should try to treat each other good.
Mm-hmm.
And even in my Hawaiiana class in college, I learned Hawaiian studies. I learned that in the ancient Hawaiian culture, behind each person is tens of thousands of ancestors behind them, each person. So I just had this image of these tens of thousands of these people behind one individual, and that really opened my eyes. And that's why the teacher says that's why there are no true swear words in the Hawaiian language, because what comes out of our mouth is a spirit. So we never try to, say anything that causes spirit harm, the other person's spirit harm. So we don't have swear words in the Hawaiian language. And that really touched my heart. Yeah, I remember that.
That's beautiful.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's very important, what you said. And also, I just learned many people in the world feel loneliness, and that's a big problem. If you feel loneliness, you almost like hurting yourself, just like a smoking cigarette or, eating too much food kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. But if you know Kami-sama there and like a rootsable life, sociable life, and like an ideal parent, we sometimes physically alone, but not alone. Kami-sama within us all the time. And the spirits too, right? The ancestors. I'm here because of thousands of ancestors. They're watching over us, taking care of us. And Kami-sama here too. Mm-hmm. That might help many people if they don't know. They feel I don't belong anybody, anything. No family members, no friends, but you're not alone.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah. I just recently had a conversation with Todd Sensei, actually. We all know Todd Sensei. We love him. He reminded me, actually, in that conversation that, because we were talking about how I'm so scared of doing a lot of things. Like I have this fear of venturing out and getting out of my comfort zone and stuff like that. But he reminded me that, you have nothing to be afraid of. You have so many people in this, not only in this world, but also in the realm of Mitama-sama and everyone. And you have all of these safety nets put in place. So you don't have to be afraid. And so I think, for people who feel lonely, I think if they can remember that they come from a long line of ancestors, and all of these people are looking over you and protecting you. And on top of that, you have Kami-sama and Konko-sama on your side. There's really nothing for us to fear or feel lonely about. Yeah. Mm-hmm. That was a great reminder for me.
Now, I like to share my thought. Always bother me whenever I read the English Bible or Toten, God is He. That's always bother me. Because I'm from Japan, Japanese culture. Mm-hmm. We don't need to say he or she.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So we never thought Kami-sama is he or Kami-sama is she. It always bother me.
Yeah.
We have to describe. You gotta use he or she. Is there any other better words?
Oh, see, the problem with the English language is we have pronouns, and that's why you end up with a he or she. Having to say he or she, but when you really think about it, Kami-sama is neither he nor she. Kami-sama is Kami-sama.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I think I've been guilty of referring to Kami-sama as he, though, sometimes it just came out of it automatic. I don't know. I just referred to Kami-sama as he. I never really gave it a thought until I think it might have been Todd Sensei that mentioned that. Like, really, is Kami-sama really he? Is that correct? Like, why is it he? Like, well, I don't know. I never thought of that. Like, and then the image that comes to my mind for some reason is the Christian image, which is a God, like God is like a male, right? For some reason. And but then when you think about it, Konkokyo doesn't have an image of Kami-sama that is a person, as a human. So yeah, I never really thought about it. Kami-sama is just all encompassing, right? Kami-sama is everything.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to share what I read. Reverend Fukushima wrote a book and he introduced the report. It's called The Parental Figures and Representation of God. Mm-hmm. And I think the group, the researchers group, will research about God, what kind of image you have. They ask the many Christian believers in different countries, and the God is He, right? But mm-hmm. It's really true. And they ask the image of God, for example, the warm supporters, caretaker, sympathy, kindness, safe, those kind, actually like a mother mm-hmm. figure, and power, authority, initiative, knowledge, action is like a more father figure. And they ask what kind of image you have, and the result is actually many people think mother figure rather than father figure when you pray or think about God. So is it okay to say God is He, Father God, or something like that? That was very unique research.
Oh, yeah, the research.
Yeah, it was 1981. Mm-hmm. Holland scholar is the main person for this group.
Well, I don't really know that, to make that distinction. I don't know if it's really that important to make.
Yeah, probably that's not important. Just bother me. So I don't use.
You can acknowledge that there is something out there that is blessing us every day, whether it's a manly force or a female force. There's something out there, and I think that's enough to say thank you to Kami-sama. Mm-hmm. Yet there are really some religions that will fight and say that God is a man, and they'll really get mad at you and they'll start a fight if you say that God is not a man. So that I disagree with that. I think if you believe God's a man, go ahead, believe that. I have no issue. But for me, God is more like an energy. Kami-sama is an energy that has both motherly and fatherly characteristics. Mm-hmm. And it's not a man up in the sky, but it's this great energy that surrounds us from the sky above to the ground we walk on. That's my Kami-sama, and I call it the life force. And to me, if I say the life force, it's more easier to describe Kami-sama. And I said it further, if you understand Star Wars, then the force is Kami-sama. Then people will be like, oh!
Right.
You understand Kami-sama better if you understand Star Wars and the force. Because that totally describes Kami-sama. And people are like, oh! But to get angry and upset just because my beliefs are different from yours is, I don't believe in that. Yeah.
Right. No, I was just thinking that referring to Kami-sama as the force, when you say the force, then it takes that human element of wanting to classify it as male or female out of the picture, and I think it makes it easier to understand. Then you can't refer to it in a pronoun with a pronoun.
Mm-hmm. Right. So for me, it's easier. I describe Kami-sama as the force or the life force, and it's funny because in the scientific world, this energy, what we call the force, is called the field. The field. Oh. So the field is an energy that can never be created nor destroyed, and it exists at the beginning of time, is what scientists describe as the field. And it's the same thing that's described as the force, and it's the same thing that's described as a Kami-sama. So it's so interesting,
That's neat.
So yeah, in scientific terminology, they don't say God, but they use this unknown energy thingy, and they call it the field.
Interesting.
It is. It's so interesting.
The God, no meaning, no end, no fear, no parents, no worth.
It doesn't get destroyed. It doesn't get created. It is in existence. It's here, and it'll always stay here.
We talk about believe in God. Believe means because it's not proved yet, so you believe. It's proved, we don't use word believe, right? That's a interesting word to me. We believe in God because it's not certain, I guess. it's not proof. Even if they're not, that's a very powerful when we believe in God. We believe in Kami-sama. That's a energy to believe is so strong.
Yeah, our thoughts are really important. Like, I believe that today will be a good day. And then if you believe that, then your day will become good. But before the day even starts, some people believe that, oh, today's gonna be a bad day. Or like, oh, today's Friday the 13th. It's gonna be a sucky day. And they believe, and what they believe will usually come true.
Right. Yeah,
But,
that's interesting. Yeah, because you can't. It's hard to prove without a doubt. Like it's hard. I guess it's hard to prove in a sense of like, what would you say? Like a solid physical proof. I don't know. Maybe no. That's not really. Let's not use that. Can we edit that out? Never mind. I don't know what my point was.
My parents always say, like, if somebody asks you, do you believe in God? Or like they don't believe in God, and all you have to tell them is stop breathing then. Hold your breath. And they can't even hold their breath for 2 minutes, and they're going to be gasping for air. And you'll be wondering, well, why do you gasp for air then? Why do you need to breathe? Why? And they'll say, well, because the body wants me to live. And then you'll be like, well, then why does the body want you to live? Do you want to live? They say, yeah, I do want to live. And you can also tell them, well, don't eat then. From this day forth, don't eat. If you don't believe in Kami-sama, don't eat. Because all the food is provided by the works of the heavens and earth. The rain function, the air, people's hard work and energy, and the light from the sun. These are all Kami-sama's blessings. And that is Kami-sama, really. That's helping things grow like that. And we're able to partake that. So if you don't believe in Kami-sama, that means you don't believe in the workings of how, food was grown from the ground and people's hard work and stuff. And if you stop eating for a good, I don't know, was it 10 days? I forgot. You're gonna die. Why? You're gonna really want to eat. Why do we have that desire to eat? Why do we get hungry? Why? Because the body wants to live. And then you ask, well, then why do you want to live? Why does the body want to live? And people be like, I don't know. And they just Kami-sama.
That's good story what Edna Sensei shared. Sometimes God helps people. That's why God, help me in the immediate blessing or something we need. So that's why God does. But not only that, but actually giving us daily blessings and everything provided by Kami-sama. So if you believe so, we understand more easily Kami-sama, God exists or not. Some people didn't believe God exists because they don't do nothing. God doesn't do nothing when people are suffering. But if you know Kami-sama gives a daily blessing so that we are able to live, so it's a big difference. I want to ask, what's the difference between people who believe in God and who don't believe? That's what I wanted to ask you guys.
Well, it's like, for me, believing in Kami-sama and versus not believing in Kami-sama is the same as saying, oh yeah, I have parents, and saying, oh no, I don't have any parents. I was born by myself. I was able to come to this day by myself. No one took care of me. No, I did it all by myself. And it's that difference, versus if you believe in Kami-sama, or if you believe in some kind of higher power, it's basically saying, I am a really small human being. I am powerless without you. And it's because of you that everything is possible. And it's because of you that I can be alive today, that I can eat, that I can live, that I can work. Because every moment of our lives is truly a blessed moment, blessed second. And through Kami-sama's okage, through Kami-sama's blessing. We can't even take a single breath without Kami-sama's blessing. So saying that you don't believe in Kami-sama is basically saying, oh, you don't have any parents. You just were born by yourself and you did everything without the help of anybody, But saying that you believe in Kami-sama, you're acknowledging, again, the higher power that made it possible for you to be blessed until this very moment.
I think the biggest difference between a person who believes in not just Kami-sama, but just a higher power, whether it be, you call it the universe, the God, or Kami-sama, or whatever it may be, Allah, whatever it may be. The biggest difference, I think, is the person who believes in a higher power or the force as it may be, the person who believes in that has a heart of gratitude is happier, actually, when you recognize that all these things are happening for you and not to you, and they're able to see the positive in lots of situations, in many different situations that may not necessarily be deemed as good. When you can believe in a higher power and believe that there's there's something controlling things that are out of your control. And when you can trust that things that happen have a purpose. There's a reason for these things to happen. And when you understand that, I think it brings that person happiness. Person who thinks that they're living their life on their own and who is arrogant in thinking that they've relied on no one and come all this way by themselves. I think it creates a very negative mindset. And and when you become too arrogant, you'll see that people around you are no longer around you. You know, that you really are alone. You've manifested exactly what you have said, what you believe. Just like Edna was saying earlier, that, you know, you manifest what you believe. If you believe that you're on this earth alone and you've done it all alone, you will be alone.
Yeah.
And that's not happiness. So
to me, people who cannot believe in God or Kami-sama, I think they want to use Kami yourself and you feel good. You want to be comfortable. But people who can believe in God or Kami-sama, please use me. I want to do this or that for Kami-sama, for people, so that people can be humble, or people cannot believe in God, more like can be arrogant. I think that's the kind of difference between people who can believe in God, the Kami-sama, or people who cannot believe in Kami-sama.
Yep. I read the story, Japanese story, where, the banks, if you want to borrow money from them, like businesses, they will come and assess your place, your business place, and they'll check to see if you have an altar. A little altar, an altar, like a kamidana. They will check to see if you have a kamidana, and if they see one, then they'll let you borrow money. But if you don't have one, they won't let you borrow money. And the reason for that, people who don't have a kamidana believe that they're arrogant. They think that they just all by themselves, and they don't believe in any higher power, or they don't ask of any assistance from the higher power. So these people are apt to fail in business. They don't let them borrow money. I thought that was a really interesting article.
Oh, interesting. That's so Japanese.
It is, yeah.
Okay. But thank you very much. Actually, it's time to end.
Oh, wow. Already.
I really enjoyed today. Thank you very much. I hope everybody enjoyed today.
Yes, we did.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for joining us today. Thank you very much to Amy and Edna.
Thank you.
Today.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Hope we can see you next time. Thank you. Okay, bye-bye.